Today is Behavior Modification Day, and the behavior that we're talking about today is what do we do when our children or our students say, I don't want to? What do you do when you're about to go somewhere or there's something happening and then all of a sudden you have a child who says, nope, I'm not going? What do you do in that moment? The scenario that we had the other day was music class. Music class was coming up, aka I was having my prep time, and one of my children said, I don't want to go to music. And he dug his heels in, and after walking halfway down the hallway, he ran back to the classroom. My initial reaction is, ugh. We are at like day 175. How come you don't want to go? Why are we doing this still? But I took a deep breath and we solved the problem. So that's the type of scenario I'm talking about. You're on your way somewhere and then all of a sudden one of your children says, I don't want to go. And then you're in this problem solving mode. As emotion coaches, how do we solve this problem using empathy and compassion and never shame and force? So the entire class went to music and I came back to the room to meet one of my children who was in the cozy corner trying to regulate himself, having a calm down time. I have learned through experience, especially with certain types of personalities, that when I approach a child in this scenario with a really bossy voice or a stern voice or giving expectations, you will be going to music class, get yourself down that hallway. I know that my children are going to react in one of three ways. They're going to fight me, they're going to freeze, or they're going to run. In this scenario, this child usually fights me. So I know that if I come at him hot and heavy, he's gonna come right back at me more hot and heavy. And then we have a bigger problem on our hands. I came into the classroom and I said, oh, how are you feeling? I noticed that you don't wanna go to music. Tell me why you don't wanna go. And he explained to me that he was feeling scared. And I said things like, oh yeah, I remember during the musical you felt really nervous about performing in front of people. I know sometimes in the classroom you feel a bit nervous to talk in front of the other kids, so that makes total sense to me that you're feeling scared. And he said, yeah, I'm feeling scared. So right then and there, we labeled feelings and we validated feelings. When approaching this type of behavior, we always need to meet our children with empathy and compassion. If we are ever to change behavior, if we're ever to get sustainable, lasting behavior change, we have to meet our children with empathy and compassion first. We have to label and validate feelings first, and then we can set limits for their misbehavior. After we labeled and validated his feelings, he was much more willing to talk about the process of actually going to music. I know that this child always brings toys to school, and he always likes to play with his toys outside, but toys are not allowed in the classroom inside. So I said to him, I'll make you a deal. You can bring one of your toys in your pocket to music class, and anytime you feel scared about singing, you can touch the toy while it's in your pocket. And his brain was like, ooh, that sounds like a nice idea. So he thought about it for a second, and then he ran to his backpack and picked out one of his toys. He came back and he put the toy in his pocket, and we talked about how to use the toy, when to use the toy, and so we set some limits and some boundaries about him taking the toy to class and how to help him deal with his feelings of nervousness. After we discussed the limits about how to use the toy was in his pocket, and then I said, I can walk you to music halfway and then you can walk the rest on your own, or you can walk all the way there on your own. And he said, I think I can walk there on my own. So we started this scenario with a mini tantrum running back into the cozy corner. And we ended this scenario with this boy bravely walking to music all by himself and me getting my glorious prep time. So if we want our children to change their behavior, we first meet them with empathy and compassion, and we build connection over those feelings that they are feeling. We always meet them where they are emotionally. After we do that, then we can talk about how to change their behavior. In this scenario, because we were pretty short on time, I gave a suggestion of how we could fix the problem, and he agreed. But then he got to use some autonomy to decide how he was going to get to music class. Was he going to walk halfway with me, or would he like to walk all the way there by himself? So that was his autonomy moment where he could make a decision. As adults, we have ginormous to-do lists to get through, and when our children say that they don't want to go, our brains are usually like, we have so many things to do, just get in the car. But that does not create sustainable behavior change. What will get them to change their behavior in the long term is meeting them with empathy and compassion and connecting with them over their emotions. You're probably thinking, doesn't this take way longer? Won't this kind of waste all of my time? You are right. This takes way longer and it requires way more patience, but it is so much more effective in the long run. Number one, it helps our children learn to regulate their feelings independently. Two, it helps our children develop some autonomy and make decisions for themselves. And three, it changes their behavior in the long run. So my friend who didn't want to go to music class understands that it's okay to feel scared about going to music, but that he can still go to music class anyways because he has some positive coping strategies of how to get through the music class. It's our responsibility to help our children understand that those feelings are normal, those feelings are acceptable, and it's totally okay to feel those feelings. And here are some positive ways that we can cope with those feelings. Let me know in the comments below how you deal with the misbehavior of, I don't want to go. Let me know if you have any questions, and we can talk about the behaviors that your child is working through and the emotions that they need help with. I hope this tidbit of information makes your life a little bit easier, and I hope it helps you develop a little bit more patience when dealing with the behavior of, I don't want to go.